why every business leader needs to get a copy of this book. A couple of years ago, I had the pleasure of meeting Steve Wexler. And for anyone in know, Steve Wexler is often referred to as the Dale Carnegie of data visualization. And Steve is an extremely interesting guy. I had the fortunate pleasure of meeting him a couple of years ago. I was able to get him to come to Trinidad in the Caribbean here to do a workshop on it based on his big book of dashboards, which is a New York Times bestseller. Steve has just released the big book, the big picture, and I am very fortunate to say that I was one of the first people to receive a copy of this book. Steve Big's picture is very different from pretty much all the data visualization books out there. If you look at all of those other books out there, they typically speak to a particular audience, and that's the analyst. That's the people who already understand the power of data. That's the people who already know how to harness the power of data typically. But this book is very different. This is meant for executives, for non-technical people who are relying on, that army of engineers, that those data scientists, those analysts to deliver insights to them. They are presented those things typically in visualizations, dashboards, but they don't quite know what to do with a lot of those things. It may be a bit too sophisticated for them in terms of just general knowledge. Now, this book brings pure clarity to all of those things in a very non-technical, very accessible way, and it's really broken down for high school kids, or at least the language is at that low audience. So it's not a highly technical book, and it's accessible to everyone. Now, if you're a business leader today, you're probably being impacted by COVID, and for some of you guys, negatively so. Now, if nothing else, COVID has created this unique situation where we've seen 7 years of digital transformation over the past couple of months. What does that mean? That means, as a byproduct of all that digital transformation, we are creating tons and tons and tons of data. And this data is what we could ultimately use to drive more empirical decisions. So, if you're part of the leadership team or you're a leader in your own space, and you don't have a technical background, but you understand the power of data and you want to be able to harness that data, then this book is for you. So I highly recommend that you check out this book. I'll pop a link down in the chat or in anything below so that you can get it on Amazon. Now, what's interesting in this particular book is that it speaks really high level in terms of like the things you need to know when interpreting, when consuming the visualizations. But what I often hear as well is that a lot of people come back and say, hey, Leslie, I understand it, I get it, I see the power of visualizations, but I actually want to be able to do it. I don't want to have to wait on my analysts or my programmers to generate these things for me. And that's why we created a super interesting workshop. This workshop is based on a framework that we created. It's called the 3 most powerful analytical techniques. And it sounds pretty complicated, but these 3 techniques, everyone learned them at 5 years old. So we all know them, but only very few people know how to actually combine these 3 techniques to apply them with their data today. So if you're interested in becoming a leader in the data space, I highly recommend starting off with this book. So this gives you that 40,000 foot view so that when you're in the room and an analyst is presenting something, when you're seeing that data, you can get the big picture. You can get it quickly. You can understand what the impact is to your organization. And I'll drop again the link to the book in the comments below. But if you are interested also in empowering yourself and becoming more confident with data, I'll also put the link to our framework. Feel free to click across into that link and I'll send you a free copy of the framework. See you on the next slide, guys, and pick up your copy soon.